Assalamu alaikum, my name is Humza, one of the co-founders of Running Paper.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, I'm Shehryar, Hamza's brother and also co-founder. So I'm just going to jump straight into it today. This is the problem that we're trying to solve. So just before I start, can I get a quick show of hands? Is there any teachers in the audience? So I can see a fair few hands, and I've spoken to quite a lot of teachers today. So I'm sure you can resonate with this problem. So currently in the UK, there's a teacher workload and retention crisis. Teacher workload is at an all-time high and retention is at an all-time low. So the year before last, there were record numbers of departures from the Department of Education. And the number one reason cited by teachers is workload, with 8 out of 10 saying it's workload that made them leave. Of the current teachers in the profession, 94% say teacher workload is the number one reason they'd consider leaving the profession. So my wife was also a teacher, and I used to see her spending hours in the evenings and weekends marking past papers and homeworks. So at Running Paper, we've developed a platform where we automate the marking of pen and paper-based assessments. So currently, for a science teacher, on average, it will take anywhere between 6 to 8 hours to mark a full set of mocks for a class. We now have a number of schools on the platform doing it in less than 20 minutes. So not only do we do that for them, we also give them personalized, tailored feedback. So feedback for every single student and every single question. So saving teachers hours, and it wouldn't be feasible without automating this process. So what we really want to do is give teachers time back so they can spend more time in the classroom focusing with students.
So in terms of where we are, in terms of our journey, we started building product in late November, and we had our first MVP in January. Within a few weeks later, we had our first pilot school in a school in Preston, named Academy at Worthing, which was going really well. A few weeks later that, we managed to get a meeting with School Improvement Liverpool, which is a Liverpool council body. They really loved the project and the product that we developed, and they agreed to do a 7-school pilot across 7 secondary schools across the region, and this was a paid pilot. Since then, we've started working with schools in the Northwest, in the Midlands, and also in 1 school in London. We've also expanded to schools in the UAE and now 2 schools in Qatar, and we managed to secure our first annual license for the next year. So currently, we now actually have 20 pilots, 14 of which are paid. So in terms of how we work with schools, we just try and contact the senior decision makers in the schools directly, LinkedIn, email, when we get a meeting with them, and also through our advisors. A big push for us has been partnerships, trying to work with other organizations, so like School Improvement Liverpool, and we managed to work with 7 schools via them, and also inbound. So just other teachers recommending our platform to other teachers in other schools, and also on LinkedIn, we post on LinkedIn and we get schools messaging us saying, we love your product, is there any way we can do a pilot or a trial? In terms of our team, so myself, I used to be a doctor, but I left. Still, my parents are not too convinced. And I left to become a software engineer. I worked as a software engineer at the Hook Group, and I'll let my brother talk about his.
So I also have quite an unconventional path into tech. I actually graduated as a chemical engineer and then went abroad to study Arabic language for a few years. And I decided to transition into tech. I had a few friends that had made the transition, one of them who is here today. And I also convinced Hamza to join me on the journey. So we transitioned at the same time, which my parents, again, were not happy with. And I currently just quit my job last week. So I'm also full-time on Running Paper. And then there's also my brother Haris, who's also with us. So he's also a co-founder with us, but he's a final year medical student. And he's done a lot of work in schools across the Northwest particularly. So he's delivered more than 100+ educational seminars in schools.
I know in terms of our advisors, we've got 2 advisors, one Duncan and Andrew. There's combined over 45 years of experience in education, and Duncan was previously the policy director of ASCO, which is the head teachers union in the UK. In terms of the next 90 days and beyond, our main goal is to convert as many as our pilots into annual licenses for the next year. We also want to continue our partnership with the School Improvement Liverpool. So School Improvement have over 200 schools, and they have over 60 secondary schools. So if you want to continue working with the other schools, and also start doing other subjects. So currently we do science and geography, but we want to expand to other subjects, and also the other schools in the UK. There's 24,000 schools in the UK, and then also schools globally. So we have one piece of news. So this was released 11 days ago. So the Department of Education released an AI white paper for teachers, and one of the biggest things on there is saying that teachers can now use AI to save time on marking. So that has really helped us in terms of grow and a lot more awareness of how AI marking can be used to reduce teacher workload. This is a bit of a screenshot of the demo. So essentially how it works, you'd log in, you'd create a worksheet, and you'd create a worksheet and give it to your students. All a student needs is a pen. They don't need a login, a fancy computer. They simply need a pen. Teacher takes that piece of paper, scans it into a single file, and our software does the rest. The allocation, the feedback, the marking, delivering that feedback directly to the student's email, and that's how it works.
Sorry.
No, no.
It's over there.